you guys? It's your girl Kiya.
It's your boy Jalen.
Alright, you guys, so we're back with another video. It's been a minute. I think we missed like a week or something like that.
Lazy.
So I had,
Lazy.
Yeah, it's a lot big. We have, college students. He's got his business, stuff like that. But you guys, we're back with another video. Last week, I did work on doing this video. I made the video and everything. And then when I was editing, I was just like, you know what? I was like, I feel like it would be better to have somebody else here to feedback off of with this topic, because I feel like it's such an important topic to talk about. Because as you guys know,
or you just realized that you was wrong for doing it without me.
No, you don't. You know you didn't want to do the video. So anyways, the title of this video is Legend of Korra Ruined. Okay, so the reason why we say Legend of Korra is ruined is because, as you all know, there's been a lot of flaws with the series in general, and so there's been a lot of things that us as fans have had to kind of like, okay, so we're mad about this, but we're gonna let it slide a little bit. Not even really let it slide, we just kind of tolerated it. But this particular thing was the reason why Legend of Korra was an absolutely just like, it was canceled for me. Like, I was just like, nah, I can't. And this thing that I'm talking about is when the link to the past avatars was destroyed, okay? That was like the moment in Legend of Korra that I felt like was absolutely like the death of the series for me personally, because I just felt like at that moment I was just like, well, you guys did all this stuff in this series that made no sense, and then you did this, and that just was that was the topping on the cake for me. I was like, that's it.
I mean, I don't think it was.
I think it was.
I don't think it was that bad, because I mean, you could say the same thing about some of the stuff that the past avatars did, sort of like Avatar Yang Chen, when she basically left the spirit world in shambles for because she neglected the spirit world. She left the spirit world in shambles and forced Avatar Kuruk to have to come behind her and fix that. And then Avatar Kuruk, he neglected his duties outside of the spirit world, left that for Kyoshi to have to come and clean up. So I think this is just another instance where an Avatar jacked something up, and an Avatar behind him has to come up and fix the issue. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this. I mean, Avatar Aang was killed was almost killed while he was in Avatar state. What happened? He ended the past Avatar cycle. So he had to reconnect himself in order to get those past lives back. So we've seen a way that where something similar to what happened with Korra happened to Aang. So it's possible that those past lives aren't completely gone. Mm-hmm. That there's a way that they can bring them back. I just don't think that, because a lot of people suggest, oh, Korra should be the one to do that. Korra should be the one to remake that connection. I just think that I think sort of Korra's run is a little too perfect. Mm-hmm. It seems like once she fixes the issue goes away, never comes back. Mm-hmm. And that's not the case. That's not the case for any avatar. Mm-hmm. Every avatar has to have a mistake, almost a detrimental mistake that another avatar has to come behind and fix. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of the avatar cycle in itself. Yeah. So for Avatar Korra to sort of finish with this perfect record is not realistic, nor does it follow the trend as to what Avatar is for. I
don't know. I get what you're saying too, but I feel like with Legend of Korra, with everything that was like, all this stuff that she did that I feel like was really triggering. Like, I feel like for that, they adding that to Korra, I just feel like a stronger dislike for her, because it's like, dang, like really? I mean, like, out of all the things, like, all the past lives are like gone. And I feel like seeing it was like dramatic, and it was just like, dang, kind of broke your heart seeing all of them like, proof like that. And it's kind of like, dang, all that wisdom and stuff, like, just gone. And I feel like it kind of sucks. And then I kind of waited out to kind of see if, like, okay, maybe they're gonna bring them back somehow. I do believe that there could be a way to bring them back. I feel like it wouldn't make sense just for them to be gone like all together. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't help the Avatar period. In a way, it was sort of, because think about it, if I'm an Avatar coming after Korra, I don't want advice from Korra.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like, my thing. Like, I don't want to have to look at Korra and say, yo, I need some advice on this. I do not want to look to Korra for anything. and especially when you're looking at somebody, first of all, she's from the Southern Water Tribe. I mean, if I'm from the Earth Kingdom, I don't want to listen to you. I want to listen to an Earthbender from the Earth Kingdom. I don't want to listen to you. If I'm a airbender, I want to see an air nomad. If I'm a firebender, I want to see Roku or someone else. But I definitely won't want to talk to Korra.
I think it's good to get all the wisdom. I think that's the amazing thing about having like
that's part of being an avatar.
You get to learn from different tribes and different like their way of handling different situations and kind of decide what kind of decision you want to make. You know what I'm saying? So like, and it's kind of like I feel like that's why it sucked too. Cause
I think it's more detrimental to the Avatar cycle than it is to the Legend of Korra series. I think that having that in there was a good thing, but I think that should have been something that was for the end. Yeah. I think that's something that should have come at the end of Legend of Korra, because in a sense, that's not something that you just drop and leave. Something that you just drop and you leave it open. That's something that you can sort of continue to harp on. I would think that from doing something like that at the end of the show, that there will be some kind of follow-up as to how this particular issue is going to get fixed, either by Korra or by the next Avatar, which I would prefer it be by the next Avatar. Yeah. Korra's like, well, I don't know how to fix the situation. Nobody else knows how to fix the situation.
Because I doubt very seriously she would have an idea.
And so the next Avatar coming behind, that's something that they will have to figure out. I think it's a good idea as far, because like I said, it's not the first time something like this has happened. And Avatar's run is too perfect. It seems like after she does something, it never really nothing really ever comes back to bite her. And if she was to die when the series is over, you would really have a sort of a perfect situation that she's leaving the next Avatar.
And, that's
not the trend of what an Avatar is.
Yeah, I think for the fans too, that would be something that we'd be looking forward to, because you know it really does suck, because not only does the Avatar learn from the past Avatars, but you do too. You learn more about like the history and different things like that, like in different time periods and stuff like that. So not only are you learning, but the Avatar is learning too. And so when the next Avatar comes up, it's gonna be like, that's different, you know. And a lot of people were saying, well, they're gonna have to learn to like, you know, fend for themselves, kind of like come up with their own, you know, like solutions, kind of like they're basically on their own. So that would be something that would be kind of interesting to see, and then also be kind of cool to see like he said as well, like seeing if they could like bring that back, like that'd be a problem that they solve.
And I mean, even if you did decide to no longer go forward with a new Avatar or with continuing the series as to how to fix this issue, well then cap off Korra, finish Korra, and go into the past Avatars. Since you cut off the Avatar cycle basically at that point, since you sort of cut off the past Avatars from the new Avatars, then give us more of the past Avatars. We see hundreds of Avatars standing there, and we only know 5 of them, 5 or 6 of them, maybe 7, because now we know about one and the other firebender that looks like Jafar. We know a couple of them now, but I feel like there's more that we can learn as far as the past Avatars.
Yeah, that's what
so I mean, if you want to cap it off that way, you just sort of want to leave the. I think that that's the only reason why I'm okay with that move. I think that I don't think it should have been in the middle of the series, sort of the way that it was, like towards like 3/4 of the way through the series. I think that's something that should have been at the end of the series. But I don't know if it ruined the show. Like I said, I think it actually sort of helped in a way, because like I said, Korra's run is way too perfect, and nobody has been a perfect, and especially with Korra's with the way Korra behaves herself, she's not an Avatar that was gonna. If anything, she should have left. She should have died with more mistakes than Aang made, with the kind of Avatar that she was, being reckless and going based off her emotions and different things like that. She actually should have caused more issues than what she was actually given credit for.
I don't think it was just her. I think it's because she had some people coming up behind her cleaning up her mess. So she had like Tenzin, and she had like other friends. I feel like, you know, even with Tenzin's kids, they even stepped in, and you know, like the daughter, you know, with that whole thing, she basically, I don't even know.
She never really had to do the job herself.
Yeah, basically is what I'm saying. Because I don't even think she even solved the season 2 issue, or season 3.
And that's partly why I don't give her. A lot of people give her that greatest Avatar mantle. I don't give her that, because she had more help than somebody like Kyoshi. We see Kyoshi doing what she's doing independently. I think the only real mistake that Kyoshi made was the Dai Li, was creating the Dai Li. And you know, and that came back to bite them eventually. That came back to bite them later. But avatars like Kyoshi was doing it by herself. A lot of the things that needed to be fixed, she had to do herself. So Aang, he had help as well. That's why it's harder for me to it's harder for me to parallel Aang with everybody else, because he's really the only airbender avatar that we see, that we actually see in action.
Yeah.
So it's hard to compare him with Avatar Yang Chen. But you know, you look at the different avatars and it's like, well, Korra, he was fighting the spirit world on his own. He didn't have backup. He didn't have help. So you have different situations like that. Korra's got so much backup. She's got so many people on her side coming from a bunch of different angles. Even the fact that Aang was the only airbender, she had 3. You have Tenzin, you have Tenzin, his son, and his daughter. That's 3 airbenders that she has. You have firebenders, you have earthbenders, you have metal benders. You got other waterbenders. She sort of always had somebody sort of to fall back on if she failed, and she failed a lot. So and I think that's part of my issue with the Legend of Korra. There's never really any moment where she's just like, nah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna handle this. I'm gonna take care of this. So I don't feel like it ruined the series. I just think that it's something that should have happened at the end, and I think that part should be the detrimental. I think that should be sort of the tag of what she did wrong. Every avatar has something that they did wrong. Aang, he ran away. Roku, he didn't handle Sozin. He should have killed Sozin, and he didn't. Kyoshi, she created the Dai Li. Yang Chen, she neglected the spirit aspect, and Korra, he neglected all of his other responsibilities outside of the spirit world. So everybody has like this tag of something that they did wrong that the next avatar has to come and pick up, and I think that should be Korra.
Another thing is when she brought the spirit world to the physical world. You know, people were still trying to decide, is it a good thing or is that a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
You could kind of bring that up next too. Was that a good idea or was it bad?
And that's another thing. That's because there's a reason why they separated the two. That was part of the problem with Avatar 1. When Avatar 1 came around, is he had to separate the two. The spirit, because keep in mind in that time period you had the spirit world and the physical world dwelling together at that same time, and he had to become that bridge. That's the whole point of the Avatar. So when you take away that separation and you bring the two back together, you've just defeated the purpose of what an Avatar is.
And then another thing too is that you gotta remember too, like the very first Avatar around that time, there's a lot of dangerous places you couldn't go because of places like in the spirit world being mixed with the physical world. So it was very dangerous. That's why there are no little lion turtles and stuff. So they're kind of just like away from it. But like when you actually go out there, a lot of people lost their lives because being entangled with all that kind of stuff.
So there was a reason why why the avatars had to separate that, and the whole point of the Avatar is being the bridge between the physical and the spiritual world and keeping balance between the two. You just mixed them up again, so now what's the whole point of the Avatar now? And that's partly the balance that comes with being an Avatar, being able to balance being the spiritual aspect and the physical aspect. That's why when we look at different avatars, you see Yang Chen, she neglected the spirit world. She was one of the greatest people as far as dealing in the physical world, but in the spiritual world she completely neglected it. And Korra was the opposite. So it's about having that balance in between and understanding how to balance those two. And since you just brought them back together, what's the point of the Avatar now? So I feel like that was a bad move. And that's also something that's gonna stay in her legacy, and something that the Avatar next will have to come behind and clean up.